Representative Omar has revealed herself to be a foreign agent acting on behalf of a foreign government. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota be censured.
Hold on. How does a sitting member of Congress keep finding herself at the center of loyalty questions like this? Before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video, folks. Now, here's what's raising eyebrows. Ilhan Omar is once again under fire, this time over remarks that critics say put another country's interests ahead of the United States. And it's gotten so serious that Marjorie Greene is now pushing to formally censure her in Congress. And you start to wonder, at what point does this stop being controversial statements and start becoming a real pattern people can't ignore? Because there's an old idea people like to quote, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. So the real question is, are Americans watching a misunderstanding unfold, or are they finally seeing something they've been told to overlook? Stay with me, because once you break down what was said and how it's being defended, it raises even more questions.
Georgia seek recognition.
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A.1 of Rule 9, I seek recognition to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows.
Recognized.
Censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Whereas elected members of Congress take an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar took an oath of allegiance to the United States upon becoming a citizen, declaring, I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen. Whereas on January 27, 2024, Representative Omar gave remarks at an event in Minneapolis in which she made treasonous statements. Whereas Representative Omar said she has spoken to many Somalians who asked her to intercede for the Somali government by pressuring the United States government into certain actions. Whereas Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, for as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Whereas George Washington warned in his farewell address of 1796 to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism, and further declared citizens by birth or choice of a common country, that country has a right to concentrate your affections. The name of American, which belongs to you in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism more than any appellation derived from local discriminations. Whereas these statements by Representative Omar clearly violate the oath she took as an elected member of Congress to defend and protect the United States Constitution. Whereas Representative Omar has exhibited the treasonous tendencies George Washington warned about, and her actions must be condemned by all members of Congress who adhere to the oath they took upon assuming office. And whereas by openly admitting her efforts to advance Somalia's interest using her position as a United States representative, Representative Omar has revealed herself to be a foreign agent acting on behalf of a foreign government. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota be censured. Representative Ilhan Omar forthwith present herself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. Representative Ilhan Omar be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker and Representative Ilhan Omar be and is hereby removed from the Committee of the Budget and the Committee on Education and the Workforce.
So here's the moment everything turns. The accusation centers on Ilhan Omar's speech to Somali Americans, where critics claim she prioritized Somalia's interests over the United States. And this is the key issue, because Greene takes that interpretation and labels it treasonous, which is one of the most serious accusations you can make against a public official. But here's where it starts to unravel a bit. The entire argument leans heavily on translated remarks, and multiple sources have already questioned whether those translations were accurate or taken out of context. So now you've got two completely different narratives. On one side, Greene is saying this is disloyalty at the highest level. On the other side, Omar and her supporters are saying this is a misrepresentation built on shaky translations and political framing. And then you look at what a censure actually is. It's not removal, it's not legal punishment, it's essentially a formal public condemnation. So the real question becomes, is this about accountability or is this about making a political statement? Because even within Congress, there isn't full agreement. Some lawmakers aren't fully backing this move, which tells you this isn't as clear-cut as it's being presented. And when you see that kind of hesitation, it usually means one thing. This situation is a lot more contested than the headlines suggest. This is one of those moments where the accusation is huge, but the facts behind it are still being argued. Like, subscribe, and follow for more breakdowns that actually look at what's going on beneath the surface.